Good afternoon and welcome to this Summer Valley FM broadcast from Winterfield Road, the home of Paulton Rovers. This is the first time that we'll be covering Paulton Rovers in the Southern League Premier Division. My name's Ian Knockholds, and we've just kicked off here, and I'm delighted to be joined by Paulton Rovers media man. It's Tony Walsh. Hello, Tony. How are you?
Hi, Ian. Apprehensive, a bit nervy, but yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, well, it seems like it was only yesterday that you and I were sat in the media box at Merthyr Town watching Paulton secure their historic promotion. And of course, on having gone up, they went up from the First Division with today's opponent, Cirencester. So, in a way, it's the devil you know.
Yeah, and looking at Cirencester's team, I think quite a few of them were players that we will remember from playing against them last season. So we do 2-2 at Cirencester, and we lost 1-0 at home.
Well, you'll be hoping to go one better here, not least because it's the opening day, of course, of this new Southern League Premier Division season, 2014-2015. Paulton are at home, Tony, so I'm going to give you the honour of taking us through the starting 11.
Yeah, we've got Carl Phillips in goal and Ben Lacey's playing right wing back. We've got new addition Connor Clifford, who has joined us from Bideford. He's come up to college this way. 3 signed from Reunited Town is Tom Seary. 5 and captain Scott Bryce, who stepped up from the job as deputy captain in view of Dan Cleverley's injury. 6 is Brandon Barnes, and 7 is Marcus Mapston. 8, another new signing from the Exeter area is Ollie Knowles, again has come up to this area of college. 9 signed from Reunited Town, who was the 8 captain, is Mike Bryant. 10, a lad we've been after for quite a few years, John Davies, who comes from Westbury, but we signed him from Paulton Town, actually, so it's a good signing. 11 is Nick McCooty, thankfully first game back. He hasn't played a pre-season game because of his broken arm, and he's still got a strapping on, as you can see. And then on the bench we've got Ryan Batten, Kieran Baggs, who's joined us from Bradford Town, Elliot Gibbons, who's on joint forms with Bath City, and Callum Hinder, who stepped up from the youth team.
Well, you can hear the volumes got distinctly louder here at Winterfield Road as the players come over to the main stand side of the pitch. Paulton Rovers are playing from left to right in this first half, wearing an all-maroon strip, and today's opponent, Cirencester, are playing from right to left in their strip of yellow tops, white shorts and yellow socks. And I'll very quickly run you through today's visitors. Cirencester is Glyn Garner in goal, as Cirencester just actually breaking into the Paulton half. They've got the ball into the Paulton penalty box over on the left-hand side. That's number 11, Ed Williams. Ball played in on the left-hand side of the box and just flashes across the face of the goal. And Carl Phillips just lets that one go out, and it'll be a goal kick for Paulton Rovers. Now then, where were we? That was it. Glyn Garner in goal. Matt Lydiard, number 2. 3 is Ben Prichter. Number 4, Mark Pritchett. Number 5, Brad Hooper. Number 6, and captain Lee Henry. Number 7, Jamie Edge. Number 8, Jamie Reid. Number 9, Nat Jarvis. Number 10, Ben Wells, and number 11, Ed Williams. Right then, Carl, I don't know why I've just started to call him Kieran, that's not very helpful at all. Carl Phillips, of course, the long-serving Paulton Rovers goalkeeper, gets us back underway, puts the ball over to the left-hand side in the Cirencester half. Bit of an aerial battle. Cirencester nearly come out on top, but it goes back to number 3, Connor Clifford, and a deflection off of a Cirencester player puts the ball out. Now it's throw-in. Barnes has it. Ball over the top, looking for McCooty. McCooty comes into the box. He's stood up strong. Can he get it past the keeper? Oh, and Nick McCooty did everything but score there. Wonderfully cut in from the left-hand side. Applause, and rightly so, around us. Smiles he's put on the faces of the Paulton fans in these opening minutes, because he went past 2 defenders and a goalkeeper. But it was a sliding challenge, I think, by number 3, Ben Prichter, who just put the ball just off the end of his foot, and he couldn't convert it into what would have been an empty net. The corner there for Paulton has gone straight out of play, so it's going to go for a goal kick. And you couldn't have dreamed for a better start than that, Tony. No,
I really thought Nick was going to put that ball in the net, but that was an absolutely fantastic tackle by the left back Prichter.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, Nick, of course, he's had an injury-plagued pre-season, so he hasn't got a great deal of match sharpness, but he's really picked up from where he left off at the end of last season. He was making a sort of a name for himself by playing as that lone figure up front, using all of his strength and pace. He cut in from the left-hand side, yet again causing defenders at this level a problem, but uncharacteristically from last season, he wasn't able to convert.
Maybe. Well, I mean, there's no excuse. I think he had a chance there. He's been training regularly, even though he's been carrying his pot on his broken wrist, and he did look sharp in a full-scale match that they had on Thursday night. It was 11 against 11 into Paulton game. But John Davis just having a quiet word with the referee now for a foul that is going to result in Ben. Is it Wells taking the free kick? Who started off as a Man United trainee.
Ben Wells and at Manchester United. Blimey. Well, we're in illustrious company here today. So over on the right-hand side, about a third of the way into the Paulton half, this free kick's going to be taken, delivered by Wells. Standing over it now. And delivered to the back post. Phillips takes it well in the air. I think he was looking to try and get it away quickly. He does manage to. He was looking for a good option. He's put it straight down the throat of the centre half. And Brad Hooper heads it forward, gets it down to the left-hand side. Intercepted by Barnes. And Bryant is there as well. Number 7, Marcus Mapston, cut down from the back, and the referee wants to play on because he's going to give advantage. Brandon Barnes has come down the right-hand side. He's tried to flick the ball off the outside of his foot into Makuti into the centre. But Paulton do pick the ball up. I think this is Lacey. He's got it back to Brandon Barnes. Brandon Barnes plays it into the centre, looking for... That is Lacey, I'm pretty sure of it. It is, yeah. Makuti's controlled it, manages to ride one challenge, but he can't ride the second. And now Nat Jarvis breaks for Cirencester over on the right-hand side. Sliding challenge there by Connor Clifford. Quickly taken. This is a frenetic pace this game has started at. Both teams obviously looking to get off to a good start. Cirencester do have the ball just on the edge of the box, and again another ball over the top goes out of play this time. And Phillips will have the he'll have the goal kick. So opportunity to just calm down now as it's slightly frenetic action here at Winterfield Road. The surface, it has to be said, is an absolute picture here. We must applaud the groundsman. You're playing on a bit of a bowling green today, Tony.
Yes, it's immaculate. I mean, credit to the Filer family, and particularly Rob, who's the father of the family. It's staggeringly good. And I heard some of the Cirencester people say, I wish our pitch was half as good.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful service. We'll hopefully be able to, certainly lends itself to good football. We obviously got a few new names interspersed with a few of the familiar ones that we know. Which particular players do you think we should be looking out for of your new signings?
I think John Davis is something. John has been forced to be playing at centre forward, but he's playing behind Nick Makuti today, so we're quite interested because I've seen him play both wings.
Now that was just
in the area.
I think it might have just been on the edge of the area there, just on the edge there. It's a good job Tony wasn't commentating there, because he'd have had a penalty. But the offside decision has looks like to have taken precedence there. So Paulton Rovers just on the edge of the Cirencester box. A player was brought down, but he was in an offside position, and it looks like the original infringement, which will be the offside, is going to be the one the referee's blown for. So it's going to be Glyn Garner, the Cirencester goalkeeper, who will get us back underway, and he puts the ball straight down the middle, one in the air. Makuti's managed to get it, and he's been adjudged to offside. But that was a highly questionable decision, and I think we're seeing a little bit of things are getting a little bit fractious. There's a little bit of a chat going on between Makuti and Mark Pritchett. Makuti just having a bit of a rub of the old ankle there, and now the referee's seems to be having a chat with Pritchett. But interestingly enough, again, we've seen Paulton player fouled, Tony, and Cirencester emerging with the free kick, which is slightly bizarre. And for the record, Makuti wasn't offside. No. I don't know if you saw that, but I think we've got a pretty good view of that up here. I certainly did, and I didn't think he was offside. But anyway, maybe I'm being a little bit biased. Anyway. Garner's all the way into the penalty centre circle when he took that kick, and he's managed to kick the ball all the way out. And actually, I think it's going to be Phillips who's going to have a free kick for an offside just down at the other side. So, would you say that Cirencester, in your years of meeting them in the old First Division, would they have the sort of voodoo sign over you? What was the record like?
No, it's pretty even. I mean, there's always been good battles between the two of us. I mean, this is their third time in the Premier. They've been a bit up and down over the years.
think Brandon, is that Brandon Barnes?
Yeah.
He looks quite badly injured. He certainly looks to be in a great deal of discomfort, holding his brow, and they want the physio on to have a look at. Oh no, he is up. He's not looking very happy about. And the ref is going to have a little chat with one of the. He's having a chat with number 3, Ben Prichter, and Lee Henry's come over as well.
He was late, ref. He was late.
Right then, Tony. Now, we deliberately had a bit of dead air there because we were hoping we could get an insight into what the referee was saying. That sort of ref cam going on there. Now, you're a man who knows a little bit about walking the line, and not in the Johnny Cash sense. Could you talk us through what the ref was up to there?
Well, the referee was pointing out to number 3 that he committed previous fouls, and he clearly was late then, and that definitely warranted a yellow card. I mean, sometimes I try to be objective, Ian, and you say, well, you let the kid off, but he was late. He was late.
As you told him. Yeah. And there was a free kick that was taken by Paulton Rovers. It was put into the Cirencester penalty box, but it was claimed pretty straightforwardly by Glyn Garner. Cirencester have a throw-in in their own half over on the left-hand side. One in the air by Ben Lacey. Another header forward there. Henry comes in and puts a ball straight down the other end for Phillips just to scoop up. And Phillips lays the ball down. Paulton have started brightly here. Phillips is well controlled actually there. I thought it was going out, but John Davis does bring the ball down. Lacey plays it up the line, cut out by Cirencester, but put straight to one of the straight to the Paulton player. That's Tom Seary. That's a new name for me. Anyway, Brandon Barnes is on the ball. Seary has it again. He plays it down. He was looking for Mike Bryant, but Bryant couldn't control it, trying to head it on for Nick Makuti, and Makuti running in again to try and pick up the ball, but it was got to Glyn Garner first. Yeah, so Tom Seary's a new name for me. Where's he come from?
Yeah, he's come from Merthyr Town, but he's actually I think he's from Bradford and Avon. Is where he lives. Yeah, good lad. He's playing alongside. We've got Ollie Knowles in there as well. I mean, Ollie was on the books of Exeter City, which is his hometown, and Connor Clifford comes from Exeter as well.
So it's a real southwest regional effort here, Winterfield Road. Lacey now, Paulton right back, wins it, but it's gone out of play, so it's going to be Prichter with a throw. And now Cirencester are off and ball runs out of play. It's going to be a Paulton throw-in.
I was saying earlier when you were saying who to look out for, I think we saw a good move between John Davis and Nick Makuti, and he's a quality player in my opinion.
Now, Cirencester have to they can't afford to get this wrong because it's a back pass to the goalkeeper that Brandon Barnes was running onto. That the goalkeeper did manage to get it, and now it's Paulton Rovers who are under pressure there. And Phillips, the ever-present and dependable Carl Phillips, just picks the ball off the Cirencester forward's boot. Ball ran into that Paulton penalty box, but Phillips was very quick off the mark in running out and picking it up. He did very well. Makuti now has it. That attempt there was by Ed Williams of Cirencester, but Cirencester do have it actually. They've got it. They've won it back from Paulton, and then there's been a clash here with Scott Bryce and one of the. I'm not sure whether that's number 9. Is it Nat Jarvis who's gone down?
They caught each other. I mean, it wasn't a foul. It was just coming together really. I think when the lad was trying to run, I think Scott was trying to move up to play him offside, and they caught each other on the ankle.
Scott Bryce certainly appeared to come off a little bit better from that. Doesn't look like the ref's having a little chat with him about it, and I don't know what the goalkeeper, what the ref's going to give. I'm assuming that the ref's giving a. Oh, is he going to just bounce the ball? I think he's just bouncing the ball in front of Phillips, having had a little chat with Jarvis. That coming together with Scott Bryce. Paulton have got to be mindful, haven't they, about getting caught on the back. It does look like number 4, Siri, is lining up alongside Bryce in defence. So is that to try and sort of add a little bit more mobility at the back there?
I think so. I mean, Scott, well, he's, in own admission, he's not the fastest bloke. He's a good old-fashioned centre-half, but he's been around. He played for Weymouth in the conference about 8 or 9 years ago, so he's somebody who's got experience. But playing alongside young Tom Seary, who's only 21, 22, good combination.
He's got a mop of hair and yellow boots. That's Tom Seary. Right then, Paulton Rovers have got themselves a free kick over on the right-hand side. It was number 9, Mike Bryant, who was fouled by Cirencester. So it's going to be Brandon Barnes who's going to take this. Free kick. It's just parallel with the edge of the penalty box, so we're quite deep into Cirencester territory. Barnes plays it in, but it is one in the air by Cirencester. They only head it out as far as Barnes, who allows that to go out of play, and he tries to take the throw in quickly, and he plays it back to number 10, John Davis. Davis goes past the left back, he skips past one and then another, he's got it into the box, he chips it over, and he was looking in, the player has been pulled down. He was pulled down there. I think that was Siri who was running on the end of that chipped effort there, but the referee didn't see it the way that we saw it. Didn't see it the way we saw it up here. Cirencester, perhaps if they were with us here, they would have another way of looking at this, but it certainly looked to me and everybody around here that it looked like Siri had his shirt pulled in the box and went down. Anyway, you're not getting a great deal of change here today, are you?
No, we're not.
I mean, having said that, the signs have been good because you've been putting yourselves in plenty of attacking positions. Obviously, we had that excellent Makuti chance, and then that last effort there, you were, I think, rightly, you were unlucky not to get the decision your way.
No, I'm not decrying. You get the rubber green, you don't get the rubber green, but that looked as though Siri was pulled back, and to be honest, he was looking as though he was going to get on the end of that.
Paulton Rovers could be 2-0 up here. They're not. It's 0-0 at the moment. 0-0 between Paulton and Cirencester. Ball's gone out of play. Ref's going to have another little chat with Ed Williams. He's having a chat with at the moment. In fact, number 8 down there, Jamie Reed's with him as well. In fact, he's having a longer chat with Jamie Reed. He's spending an awful lot of time talking to these Cirencester players. I mean, I appreciate that. We certainly saw in the World Cup that referees officials appeared to be a bit more reluctant to put anybody in the book. I don't know whether this is going to be a sort of a doctrine that's going to come through all levels of football. I know that's the philosophy that should be held, isn't it? Consistency in officiating, and on a certain level, I think we'd like. On a certain level, you can only appreciate that. But having said that, you've got to ask yourself how many times Cirencester are going to get a talking to from the ref before he is going to feel inclined to actually pull out a card.
I mean, Cirencester are a lot more physical than I remember them last year. And I don't want people to be booked left, right and centre. But the referees now talk to 3 of their players. The trouble is, one of our players commits a foul and we'll get a yellow card perhaps, but hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, that was a miscued clearance by Cirencester in their own half. Ball was played over the top. They're looking for Makuti. Makuti's running in. He's putting pressure on the goalkeeper. There was more than an element of the Nat Lofthouse about that follow through on Glyn Garner, but Garner does collect it, and Makuti has a wander around. In no great hurry to get back. Let's Garner know he's there. Anyway, Garner clears. And the ball is in the Paulton half. Mapston's come all the way back. Well, Mapston has come back and has cleared it. Mapston wearing the number 7 shirt. He seems to be playing a little bit further advanced than his normal sort of centre-half position, Tony.
I think what he's doing, he's playing just in front of the back 4 and giving them extra support. But he's played a good number of games in midfield, and I think he's quite a useful player. So he probably is playing the kind of Dan Cleverley role that we've now signed Ashley Williams, of course, probably to commit himself, but he's got a 1-match suspension, and Ashley's a very experienced player, but that's how it looks to me.
Well, we'll let you know if that changes, but Mapston's certainly been involved in quite a lot of what Paulton have been doing in the engine room in midfield, and Carl Phillips has come all the way up about well over halfway over on the left-hand side, well over halfway in his own half. Ball played up into the Cirencester half. Cirencester have it, and nice little interchange. Releases, they look to release their number 9, Nat Jarvis, but now a ball switching play from right to left. It's got a little bit too much on it for Ed Williams, and he can't keep it in play. Ball goes out of play for a Paulton Rovers throw-in. So it's going to be Ben Lacey to take it. And Mapston has it, but he was a bit lackadaisical. Had the ball taken off the edge of his foot, and then it's Wells over the top. He puts a... that's gone out. I don't know whether that's gone out of play for a... I think that's... I don't know actually if he's looking... I don't know whether... I think the linesman has signalled for an offside there, but it was an effective ball over the top there by Wells, releasing, I think it was Jarvis. And there's been a foul. I think it was Brandon Barnes, wasn't it, Tony? Who
Mike Brown was fouled. Mike Brown was fouled by the number 8, who came in late.
That rhymes. And there's a young lad over there wearing a Barcelona top who was very helpful in pointing out to the referee exactly who was the perpetrator of that act of sedition. Anyway. So it's not just you, is it? It's not just you helping the linesman or the ref. Anyway, that ball's gone down the left-hand side. It's going to be cut out by Scott Bryce. And that will give Cirencester quite an attacking position, actually, but it'll be a throw-in deep into Paulton territory over on the left-hand side. Still 0-0, of course. Down, they've played it down. It was a quick, well, it wasn't a quick throw, but they tried to catch Paulton unawares, getting it down to Williams, Ed Williams, but had far too much on it, the throw, and they threw it straight out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick to Paulton. Carl Phillips to take.
I think Cirencester, one or two of the Cirencester players who I believe have been released by Cheltenham Town at the end of the season. But they've got a blend of experience. To say Wells has been around for a while, but he was at Man United, and the keeper Garner, of course, was Bath City goalkeeper a few years ago.
Pritchett taking nothing for granted there. He had Makuti bearing down on him and put it straight in a rosette. It's going to be a throw-in now by Lacey. Lacey plays it up. Lacey has it again, actually, over on this right-hand side. Bryant, he was trying to play a 1-2 with Bryant, but it's gone out off of a Paulton player, so that's given Cirencester the throw-in. One in the air by Lacey, but he only puts it back to Cirencester, and now Cirencester swap play from left to right, just as the rain starts coming down, and it's come down pretty heavily, actually. This could liven things up a little bit, Tony, couldn't it? Because we could see the ball really zipping around this surface now, and in fact, actually, you can already see the players start to slip inside. Ball's gone out of play, and it's going to be a Paulton Rovers. No, it's not. It's going to be a Cirencester throw. Actually, what am I talking? It's a Paulton throw. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're in the covered stand here at Winterfield Road, so we're all right. I'm still wearing a T-shirt because it's well, it's not exactly... Oh, hello, the wind's blowing, now I'm getting wet. It's not exactly cold, is it, Tony? But
well, I'm sat here in a short-sleeve shirt, but the rain was predicted, we knew that. But, yeah, I think a combination of, obviously, this hard rain on a lovely grassy surface could make it quite slippy, and hopefully the players have taken recognition of that, and they've got sufficient stud length on to cope with this.
Yeah, well, I think both sides have tried to find an error as a way of getting through. They've tested the defence. They've put those... We've seen a lot of balls over the top. I mean, obviously, Makuti's sort of very strong running has asked questions of the Cirencester defence, and Cirencester have, in turn, tried to ask questions of the Paulton Rovers defence. They're going to have another go here down that left-hand side. Ball one in the air by Lacey. Now, Paulton have got to try and get it away. Knowles, high lofted clearance. Mapston trying to get his foot on the ball. Lacey manages. Makuti brings the ball down. He puts a lovely little ball over the top. Barnes using his pace. Clearance with his header. Now this is John Davis. Davis breaks into the Cirencester box, but is dispossessed by just possessed by Cirencester. Now Barnes has popped up on the left-hand side and he scored. Brandon Barnes has popped up on the left-hand side. Cirencester hadn't cleared the danger. Barnes, who roamed from right to left, popped up and, well, he had a fantastic shot, picked his spot in the bottom right-hand corner of the goal and put that ball away. And Cirencester, who've been weathering the Paulton Rovers storm, the heavens open, they've got a real storm to weather, and Brandon Barnes keeps his composure completely, Tony, pops up on the left-hand side. Cirencester failed to clear it. Barnes runs into the box, picks his spot and gives the goalkeeper no chance.
I'm pleased about that because Brandon, although he's had a couple of pre-season goals, that must be his first league goal since I think the end of February, because he really dried up last season, so it's good to see that. But it's a really good move between John Davis and Nick McCooty that set him up, and
Cirencester trying to answer here. They have got the ball into the box now. They can answer straight away, and an opportunity there fell to Cirencester immediately. A slip, and we said that the conditions would become a factor. Cirencester were in on the right-hand side, but they couldn't convert. Not too dissimilar situation from when Brandon Barnes did convert. Cirencester blast the ball behind Phillips' goal. Barnes putting finding the spot, of course. Anyway, Cirencester have got a corner for their trouble over on the right-hand side. That's warmed the hearts here at Winterfield.
Ben Lacey that was blocked by Ben Lacey.
Ben Lacey has been very busy so far, and I've been impressed with what I've seen. And the header's gone in from Cirencester. It was a header on the far post. I can't see who it was. I think that was do you think it's number 4? I thought it was number 8. Anyway, who can say? According to Tony, Mark Pritchett was the scorer there. We think it's number 4. Tony is very reluctant to say anything on the stadium microphone without knowing it. And we're seeing Pritchett.
Did you get the number?
I thought return, I didn't see it.
I until you said 4, I was going to say 8. I thought it was Jamie Reid, but whether or not you'd be a gambling man to award that goal. But he's going to do it anyway. There we go, as the rain's coming down even harder. Now Bryce appears to be getting a bit of having a talking to. I mean, Scott Bryce is a man who knows his own mind, it would be fair to say, and he appears to be sharing it with today's referee, Mr. Sam Ogles, who's a young man.
Before we've had him last season up here, but it's torrential rain now, isn't it?
We're going to need an arc to get home. I know that heavy rain was forecast. This is going to be playing havoc with the test match, listeners. Anyway, the equaliser came probably only certainly less than 5 minutes, but I think it was less than 3 minutes after Paulton took the lead. And I was going to say that Paulton deserved their lead. I mean, not least because of the penalty shout and the McCooty chance. I mean, if this was it's 1-1, but I would certainly have Paulton ahead on points, Tony.
Yeah, there's. The management and certainly the players are unhappy at something that happened there. I mean, I didn't see. I saw the header, but I think it was something that happened perhaps off the ball.
Right then, Davis into the Cirencester box, tries to blast. He gets a second opportunity at the byline. This time, Glyn Garner got himself to the near post and blasted the ball out of play. So it's going to be a Paulton Rovers throw-in, which is going to be taken by Davis. He's got Lacey up with him, and he finds Lacey, plays it back to Davis. Davis runs to the edge of the box. Cleared by Cirencester only as far as Scott Bryce. The rain a lot heavier now, all the players absolutely saturated. Cirencester have possession. Ball goes up, and it's Siri comes away with it. Mapston puts the ball over to the left looking for Brandon Barnes. Barnes controls it well, he's got McCooty up with him. But Barnes trying to switch play. Mapston does switch play, but he saw a pass that wasn't necessarily on, and he apologises for that because Davis wasn't able to run onto that. And we're going to see a substitution by the looks of things. And it's number 9, I think. Number 15 is coming off. So this is number 15. This is Elliot Gibbons, who is coming on for Paulton Rovers. And it's number 9, Mike Bryant, who is making way, which we can only assume at this stage in the game is going to be an injury.
Substitution for Paulton on the pitch.
Tony's back on the mark. I should say, listeners, of course, that Tony is the stadium announcer, which, of course, makes these commentaries slightly more challenging. But anyway, Cirencester with the throw. Up to halfway. Paulton try and knock it on. They get it up to Makuti. Makuti struggles to bring it up, but it was... oh dear, Gibbons had an opportunity quite early on there to pick up the ball. Anyway, Cirencester hit back straight away. Another counter-attacking opportunity. John Davis goes sliding in, but he's number 11, Williams, is on the way. Now he's cutting side. Paulton do try and get it away, and they have got it to Davis. They're in their own half. Now it's their turn to counter-attack. Davis trying to see whether he's got anybody on, and Davis now beats the left back for pace. Puts a ball into the box, but it was always going to get cut out by the central defender. And Mapston coming forward. One in the air by Knowles, but one back by Cirencester. Jamie Reid has it. Back to the left back. Ball over the top, looking for Hooper. But Phillips gets out quicker. Up towards Gibbons. Gibbons loses out to number 10, John Ben Wells. And the ball goes back to the Cirencester goalkeeper. And the volume here is a volume of rain. This, Tony, is a monsoon of biblical proportions.
Well, we've got the ark in the backyard, so all right.
All right, yes. Somebody's upset the Almighty. It might be the ref. Right. He's certainly upset plenty of people here. Makuti fishes the ball out of the stand. It's a throw into Paulton Rovers over on the left-hand side, but it won't be he who takes it. It'll be one of... I'm just trying to see who this is coming up. Is it Siri or is it Davis? Anyway... Throw in from Paulton Rovers. Makuti has it. Still the ball over on that left-hand side. Won by Cirencester, trying to get it up to Jarvis, and Jarvis got a shove in his back for his trouble from Siri. But funnily enough, the ref didn't see that one either. And these things, yes, what goes around comes around anyway. Oh, bang! I heard that, and the players doesn't seem to be making too much of it. Collision there with Makuti, but Lacey has it. Plays a nice little ball there through to Knowles. Ball played out by Cirencester, and Lacey turns ball boy, goes back onto the pitch, finds Davis, turns past one, but fouled for his trouble, and Paulton Rovers will have another good. They'll have another kick in the in an advanced position. Now, what we aren't seeing here, Tony, is any magic spray.
No, I know it's been talked about, but no, we haven't had it.
It's being trialled in the Premier League, isn't it? Yeah. So, but it's just not this particular Premier League.
It'll come down to this level in due course, but more money to spend for clubs.
Yeah. Well, you get some shaving foam. I'm sure that'll be just as good. Anyway, Davis has it just on the edge of the box, plays a ball through. He was looking for Knowles, I think, but just one thought too many. Just as the rain now abates, and yes, this is the calm after the storm.
Tones of Nick Bunyard in the stand here is suspended, and he's giving advice.
Is he down? He's down there, isn't he? I wondered where the expletives were coming from.
Heard him swear.
I have. I just hope the listeners haven't. Anyway, Paulton have the ball. There's just a little bit too much on it there. Davis trying to keep it in over on the left-hand side, but he didn't manage it, and now Cirencester will have a throw-in. Just as we approach the halfway line. That's 35 minutes or so, haven't we, Tony, so far, I'd say?
Just coming up to 35, yeah.
And Phillips comes out and clears the ball out of the stadium. So it's a new balls, please. 1-1, of course, it is here at Winterfield Road between Paulton Rovers and Cirencester-town. Number 3. And that again.
We saw there a bit of Bryce's guile there in deceiving the centre forward to let the ball go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, they've done that before, haven't they, down in that part of the ground. They don't quite seem to be able to get that working properly, which is obviously a good thing from a Paulton perspective. But anyway, Paulton Rovers will have a goal kick. Phillips up to Makuti. Makuti just about wins it in the air, gets it down to Davis. Davis felled, and the referee seems to be happy to let play go on. Anyway, Paulton again put a ball over the top, but it's cut out by Cirencester. Only as far as Brandon Barnes, who couldn't control it, ricocheted off of his knee. Garner comes charging out of his goal, clears the ball into the home dugout, and
well, it's good pressure by Gibbons to force Garner to clear that necessarily quickly out for a throw. And he's the lad who's on dual forms with Man City.
Paulton with a throw in, then over on the far side. Again, trying for Makuti. Mapston does control it, and they've got it to Barnes. Barnes can't get it out of his feet, and he's dispossessed. Chasing down, but and now the referee is going to bring a card out, and it's going to be for a Paulton player, and it looks like it's going to be Brandon Barnes who's going to get it. He's going to get into the book. It's their number 2, Matt Lydiard. He's going to have a chat with Brandon Barnes about it. I think Brandon Barnes has been on the sticky end of at least one challenge himself, hasn't he, Tony?
Yeah. There's lack of consistency here by the referee. That's what I said to you earlier on. I said he's spoken to 3 of their players, and the first bad tackle by a Paulton player is in the book, but 35 minutes has gone or so.
There is an element of Murphy's Law about that, though, isn't there? Because I suppose, if you see, the moral for any, younger listeners here is that if you do see the referee giving plenty of people a talking to, whilst he might be getting irritated with the opposition, the chances are his patience is being worn thin with any infraction. You don't necessarily get 3 talking tos yourself before he's going to put his hand in his pocket. But I think having pulled that card out, Tony, what we would be expecting now is any of the sort of infractions we saw from Cirencester in the sort of opening half an hour. I think we can expect to see some cards for them as well.
Well, we don't want to see those litter of cards. That's the trouble that often happens when the referee starts spraying them around, and it is going to be difficult with the conditions now. They're slippy underfoot, although the rain stopped.
Yeah, the rain has stopped. Yeah, it's all very tranquil here at Winterfield Road. Cirencester have a throw in over on the far side, but just can't get the ball out of that far right hand side, trying to get a cross in. They've got themselves another throw in, and Cirencester still toiling over on that far side. They've got the ball into the corner flag now. Paulton looking for a decision, and Cirencester have won themselves a corner kick. So this is building up now to half-time. With Paulton being the better side in the first half, they've really got to make sure they don't concede another goal and go in 2-1 down at half-time. This is going to be an important set piece for them to defend. Ball blasted in quite low, actually, into the penalty box, and it did come off of a Cirencester player. Unfortunately for Paulton, it's gone high over the bar. So Phillips will have the goal kick. We see a few more blue clouds. You don't see blue clouds, do you? Blue skies rolling in over. I don't know whether that's the end of the rain for this afternoon. I mean, the rain's done its works now, isn't it? Because the pitch will remain skiddy for the rest of the game, I'm sure. Phillips kicks to touch, and it's going to be a Cirencester throw-in. Do you know? Is it? Well, I was going to say, is it too early to tell about today's crowd? But
I think there's a few more here, and there's a few more people from Paulton. Because, to be honest, Cirencester, it's very disappointing. Because I think if they brought 10 people with them, I'd be very surprised.
I mean, it's not one of the further trips, is it, in this division, Cirencester? I mean, I appreciate that it is a bit of a way, but it's not Truro.
40-odd miles, I think, to Cirencester, and Truro, who we play on Tuesday, is a local derby certainly for Truro, because it's only 164 miles for them.
That's probably why they've pencilled that one in as an evening match. We'll be back here on Tuesday, of course. Paulton Rovers with the hello, and he's going to get his card out again. Are we seeing this litany of cards that we were talking about? The cirencester player here, number 10, he was most indignant with the referee that. It was Wells, isn't it? Yes, Ben Wells, the former Manchester United trainee. He's now getting a. I think the ref has had a chat with him before. I think he did.
And he did ask him to go away, and he didn't go away. And Brandon Barnes tried to take the free kick quickly, and he's gone into the book.
So 1 yellow card apiece, 1 goal apiece here at Winterfield Road. Knowles is standing over this one on the left-hand side. About a third of the way into the cirencester half. Referee gets us back underway. Knowles delivers a ball in. Far post. Mapston went up. Didn't win it, and he's a judge that he has a judge that Paulton fouled there in the cirencester box. What talk us through that one, Tony?
Well, it was a cross in, and the cirencester player went to ground. And Marcus Mapston's been adjudged to have fouled him, but it was certainly the player going to ground. I didn't see any contact, to be honest.
I mean, without wishing to sort of, I certainly don't want to get anyone into trouble, Tony, but we've got Nick Bunyard on this side of the ground for a reason, haven't we? Because I think he's serving a ban. Mm-hmm. So actually, his interaction with the referee and his ability to talk to his players officially is well, I wouldn't say diminished. I would say is removed.
He's no more than a supporter today, and you know.
So one of the cirencester players goes straight through the back of Nick McCooty, but the ref plays advantage. Now it's John Davis over tight on the right-hand side, takes to the byline, couldn't cut it in, and I think he's won his side a corner. I think the point there was that Nick's got to be a bit careful, isn't he? Because if he starts getting on the ref's nerves, then the ref might make a point of pointing out that he shouldn't even be, making a contribution to this game.
Everything he's directing is at his own players and not at the referee, which is very sensible.
Well said. Well said, that man. Anyway, Brandon Barnes has the free kick, goal corner kick, one in the air by I think that was Marcus Mapston, and he just couldn't direct it. He was aiming for the top left-hand corner, and he just couldn't get it there. Pretty spectacular stuff. Very well worked by Paulton. Just reminds Cirencester of the threat that Paulton had been posing him for most of this first half, and. Yes, some of your old I say old stars, but some sort of familiar names there doing the damage. Brandon Barnes and Marcus Mapston.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good to have continuity, and there's a real backbone about the team, that you've got a spine there that have been playing together for several years now, and both Brandon and Marcus are in the second, third series. See.
Brandon Barnes released now over on the right-hand side. He's got acres of space. He's waiting for a bit more support for Paulton to come up. Gets into the byline. Is he going to have a shot? He is. And it goes straight into the midriff. Barnes is going to try and pick it up again. There's calls around us for saying whether that was handball. Cirencester bring the ball away. And they got it all the way up to Nat Jarvis, who was offside when the ball was delivered. The Paulton players are appealing to the linesman, but it's too late now. The decision has been given. Paulton there left pretty fuming about that latest penalty shout. Well, you've had third time lucky, Tony, because you've had two pretty stonewall ones, haven't you?
I thought that was cast iron. He brought his hands into his midriff. He moved his hands inward to block that ball. And it was the bald-headed lad in the middle. I'm not sure, number 4 or 5.
Yep.
Smiling afterwards.
Dear me. Phillips plays the ball over the top, looking for John Davis, but Davis couldn't keep it in, so it's throwing deep in to the Cirencester half over on their right back position. Seconds counting down. Here at Winterfield Road, and we're seeing I think we heard some bad language there from some of the people, perhaps on the bench. Maybe he wasn't on the bench, maybe it was a player. Anyway, he's having a chat with Marcus Mapston, difficult to see. We've only got seconds left, haven't we, Tony? I mean, I think there's a little bit of added time because of that, because a couple of the injuries. It's all very quiet here. Everyone doing their best to find out what's going on. Scott Bryce has been brought up, and we're just waiting really for this. We're waiting really for this first half to be sort of. The whistle will be blown, aren't we? So we can regroup, because I think that there's lots of niggles, perhaps a little bit of bad feeling.
I think it's frustration dripping in. I mean, the linesman here is certainly not helping at all with any of the decisions. There seems to be confusion out there, and it's a pity, because the game's not been a bad one.
No, I mean, bearing in mind the weather, it was pretty torrential, wasn't it? I mean, there were torrential rain we've played in. I mean, the surface is beautiful, but actually, the ball really is zipping off of it now. That grass is wet, so both sides playing a counter-attacking style. It's very entertaining here at Winterfield Road. But Makuti has it. He's just tried to get Davis going through the centre. Was that Knowles' ball played from distance? Was that Knowles?
Knowles,
Yeah, that was Knowles. Hit it from. He hit that from distance, and went out of play. And it's going to be a goal kick. And this could easily be the last action of the first half. It's going to be Glyn Garner who's going to get us back underway. Referee showing no signs of blowing up, so can Paulton muster another attack? Mapston tries to win, but they're playing, both sides playing head terrace, and now Knowles playing it to Barnes. Brandon Barnes over on the right hand side, playing it back to Ben Lacey. Lacey plays it off a Cirencester player, and Paulton take a quick throw, and they've released Makuti. He's right down in the corner flag now. He's looking for some support. He's going to have to use all of his strength. He twists round. He has got Lacey with him. Lacey tries to bring the ball away, but Lacey was dispossessed, and the referee has seen enough. So it's 1-1 here. Well, I'm delighted to be joined by the club chairman, Dave Bissix. You must be pleased to have football back underway, and in this historic season, you're first in the Southern Premier Division.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good to get back to serious competitive football, I think you'll agree with me, Ian, when you see the difference from a pre-season friendlies. There's certainly commitment there. Always going to be a close game. Having both being promoted this season, probably not the best of fixtures to start with, but might have preferred some.
I suppose you going up to this division, you want one of the bigger names.
Or a different club anyway. But that's still to follow. But I think this is always going to be a difficult game. To be honest, at 1-1 at the moment, we conceded a bad go within a minute or so of going in the lead with a typical Brandon goal. But having said that, I would have probably settled for a draw for this first game in the Premiership.
Right, well, we've got 45 minutes of football to come yet, so you might still have I would say you've still got a pretty good chance of taking all 3 points, Dave. But funnily enough, before that equaliser, you could actually have been 2-0 up before you scored that, before you did get on the score sheets, couldn't you? Yeah,
Nick Makuti did one of his usuals very early on, and it's almost more difficult to score, but it's a really, really excellent bit of defending. But I think we probably have got the edge, but I hope that continues in the second half, and maybe we'll get the result. Now,
the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Football's back, which is good news. We're back in the Southern Premier League, which is even better news, but it doesn't take away any of the emotional roller coaster that is watching games at this level, isn't it? Because, I mean, around us in the stand, there's been a few decisions here that the home side, I think it'd be fair to say, have called in the question, but that's football, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, that's typical of football, yeah, and you can hear the banter all around the stadium, and referees' decisions are always controversial, depends on who you're supporting, and we've seen an awful lot of that already in the first 45 minutes of football.
What a season it's going to what a season it's going to be. Dave, I'm going to let you go and talk about it even more down in the boardroom. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. It's 1-1 here at Winterfield Road. We'll be back for the second half.